Hi everyone, I thought it would be fun to show you how I make a bowl from start to almost finished. I poured my resin into a mold. When I'm doing work with real flowers, dried flowers, I do it in two parts. So as you can see here in these molds, I've got my base layer, which is clear, sort of glittery resin with gold flakes and iridescent bits. Then I put my dried flowers down on that, and then today I'll go in and do a top layer on that to cover the flowers, and once those are set tomorrow, we can either leave them as is after we take them out of the mold, or we can shape them into a bowl, which is what I'm going to do with this one today. So yesterday I poured my top coat, my top layer. Today comes out of the mold. So it's a little bit flexible. I don't know if you can see that, but not a lot. I can tell that if I was to force the bowl or the forces to bend, that it would probably snap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to where my heat gun is. Sorry about the movement. I have a couple of different spaces in my work area, and we'll just get that set up for us real quick. Just going to put on the lights a little bit here so we can see better. That's better. All right. So I have a couple of different bowls here. I'm not yet sure which one I'm going to use, so I'm just going to play with it and see where that leaves us. So what I do to make this more bendy and pliable is I take my heat gun and just help it along. You can see maybe how that's starting to bend, but I feel a little bit, still a little bit of resistance in the middle, so I'm going to keep going. I usually like to use a heat gun on both sides. Sure if you can see that on camera or not, but it's pretty bendy. It feels kind of like Play-Doh, maybe not that gushy, not that squishy, but it is nice and pliable now. So now is the part where I get to decide what kind of design I want to make with it. I don't have I kind of feel like it's still resistant in this area, and I want to be safe than sorry here, so I'm going to put heat on it again. I kind of want to do sort of like a scalloped edge, if it will let me. Ooh, I'm not sure. It's kind of being fussy a little bit, and it could be because I actually left this one a little bit longer before I put the second layer on it, and what that means is the base layer will cure in the meantime. The longer you leave it sit, the harder the base layer will cure, which with some TLC here we can get it to work. I just have to keep applying more heat, more than usual, more than the normal amount. careful when you're using a heat gun. It's very hot. So yeah, it's still a little bit stiff. Could be because I have real flowers in there too. I'm trying to do a shape of a bowl that maybe I shouldn't be doing. I'm afraid if I push it too much and manipulate it too much that it will crack the flowers in there. And that would not be a fun look. I'm not loving the shape that I'm getting out of that bowl, so I think I'm gonna try this one. No, I don't want it to be so squished up, if that makes sense. I'm gonna get a wider base. And this one doesn't. This one might be okay. I'm not sure. The angle probably isn't too great on that for you, but try and do it so you can see it. So basically, I just push it in here to whatever mold I want it mold it to, and just keep manipulating the edges. Some of my bowls I don't curl up. I just leave them natural, rounded. This one, in my mind, I was going for a scalloped edge. So as I'm playing around with the edges, the resin is actually cooling off, which means that it's starting to get stiffer and harden. So that's fine. I just have to make sure that I don't push too hard when I'm manipulating my edges. And I generally just do random patterns of whatever I think would look pretty. I don't really have a rhyme or a reason as to which parts of the edges I fold and where and how much or anything like that. I just sort of go along. And so I'm not sure if I like this yet. This is what I'm getting. This is what it'll look like when it's done. If I can keep the edges from falling, that's the trick. Is that as it cools, I just have to keep going around and around with the way I want things to solidify to end up when it's fully dry, fully cured. Some dishes I have are set up so that they're smaller and they hold the resin better, I guess, if you will. I can show you a smaller dish another time. For the bigger dish, yeah, I don't really have a one true mold for, oh, that's my favorite mold to go to. I'm just going to show you some of the molds, or I guess they're dishes, but I use them for molding my bowls. These are just dishes that I have from my own cupboard, but these are the ones that I like to use when I'm molding a dish out of resin. They hold the shape nicely. As I say, for a bigger, this is about 8 inches. I don't really have a certain size that I can say, yeah, that's the one I'll use for this technique, because really it's just about trial and error. I've only done 3 other bowls like this. Well, not exactly like this, similar to this. I think I used this bowl for the last 2 dishes I made, or maybe this one and this one. If I want it a deeper, then I use this one. I think the one blue bowl that somebody had purchased, it was sort of a softer edge. It wasn't super deep, and I think I used this this bowl to mold it. I'm not getting a lot of movement on my scalloped edges, which is good because that means that it's probably, when I leave this for a couple of hours, it'll just stay like this. And I'm very happy with that. I wanted a more of it, like I said, a shallow dish with some really scalloped edges here and there to make it a little bit feminine. And as always, when I finish my dish, I will put glitter around the edges. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. So if you have any questions or comments, pop a comment below. Thanks guys, have a good day.